Hello friends, welcome back to this online lecture series on earthquake resistant design of structure. Hello friends, welcome back to this online lecture series on earthquake resistant design of structure. As you know, in the previous lecture we have started the example of calculation of lateral forces based on the dynamic analysis method, that is the response factor method. And in that we have done the first two steps of the example, that is the calculation of modal mass, and the second step, that is the calculation of modal mass participation factor. And then we have understood the importance of the modal mass participation factor. Today we are going to start further, where we are going to take up the third step, that is the calculation of design lateral force in each modes, that is mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. Now as I have said in the previous class also, all these formulas that I am discussing over here are given in IS 1893-2016 under the section of dynamic analysis, and same can be obtained from there also, right? So if I look at the formula that is given for calculation of lateral forces, then it is indicated by QIK is equal to AK into phi IK into PK into WI, where AK is the design horizontal spectrum that is going to be corresponding to each of the modes. That is, we are having three mode shapes, so basically we are going to calculate the value of AK differently for all the three modes, right? Then second is phi IK, that is we have already seen in the last class, that is the mode shape coefficient corresponding to each floor, that is I floor at each mode, that is K mode, right? Then PK is the modal mass participation factor corresponding to each mode that we have already calculated in step number 2, and Wi is the seismic weight of each floor I, that is the seismic weight that is going to be available to us through the data that is given to us, W1, W2 and W3, right? So if I want to calculate the design lateral forces for first mode, then the first thing that I need is the value of AK, that is the design horizontal spectrum at mode K, that is the mode 1. So it is given by AK is equal to ZISA by 2RG, right? Now the building is located in Ahmedabad, so the value of Z is going to be based on the zone factor, and Ahmedabad as per IS 1893 is located, or as per the seismic map of India, is located in zone 3. So therefore I will take the value of Z is equal to 0.16 based on the reference of IS 1893 seismic zone map. Then second is the value of I, that is importance factor. Now since the building is mentioned as a hospital building, it can be classified under the public buildings, and IS 1893-2016 is telling that if the building is a public building, then the value of importance factor has to be taken as 1.5. Therefore I will take the value of I equal to 1.5. And lastly, the value of R, that is the response reduction factor. So basically I am considering that my frame is a special moment resisting frame. Therefore based on IS 1893 I will take the value of R equal to 5, right? And last thing is the value of SA by G, that is the spectral acceleration coefficient. Now if you remember, we have seen that this value depends on the value of time period. So if I want to calculate the time period, then based on the calculation of time period I will be able to calculate the value of SA by G under the dynamic analysis head, right? So how can I calculate time period? Then as we have seen in structural dynamics, the relation between omega and time period is known to us, that is T is equal to 2 pi by omega, and the value of omega, that is the angular frequency, is available with us. So if I substitute T1 is equal to 2 pi by omega 1, then I will get the value of T1 is equal to 0.753 seconds. Right? Now if I go back to IS 1893-2016, year 2002 is written, but you have to refer the latest code, that is IS 1893-2016 under the dynamic head. If we go back and refer there, then we corresponding to the value of T equal to 0.753 and medium soil, category of medium soil, will get the value of SA by G as 1.806, right? And if I substitute this value of SA by G equal to 1.806 in the equation of AK, then I will get the value of AK is equal to 0.043. Now what is this 0.043 converting into percentage? We get the value as 4.33, that is out of the total seismic weight, 4.33% of its weight is going to be acting as lateral load on the building, right? So that is the value of AK that I am getting. Once AK is there, then I can calculate the value of PK, right? Then PK is given by sigma I equal to 1 to n Wi into phi Ik the whole square divided by sigma I equal to 1 to n phi Ik square into Wi. So substituting that values, I'll get the value of Pk is equal to 1.656, as you can see over here, where W1, W2 and W3, 511, 521, 531 are there with us. We substitute these values and we get the value of Pk or P1 for corresponding to the first mode. Right? Then if these values are available to us, then I can calculate the value of lateral loads at each story level, that is Q11, Q21, Q31, where 1, 2 and 3 are indicating the floors and 1 is indicating the mode shape. Right? So substituting these values, I will get the value of Q11 is equal to 23.54 kilonewton, Q21 is equal to 55.72 kilonewton and Q3 is equal to 53.37 kilonewton. Right? So this is how the calculation of lateral forces, design lateral forces corresponding to first mode are calculated. Similarly, we have to calculate for the second mode. Now for the second mode, again we have to start with Qik is equal to Ak into phi Ik Pk into Wi, where again our first task will be to calculate the value of Ak. As I have said earlier, that we have to calculate for each of these values independently. So again, going back to the same formulas, all the values are going to remain same except one, that is the value of Sa by G, because it is related to time period and time period is related to omega, that is angular frequency. So now if I substitute T2 is equal to 2 pi by omega 2, then I will get the value of T2 is equal to 0.269. And corresponding to this, if I refer to IS 1893 under the dynamic head and the value of medium soil corresponding to medium soil, then the value of Sa by G will be 2.5. Substituting that value into Ak, I will get Ak is equal to 0.06 or 6%. That is, out of the total seismic weight, 6% of its weight is going to be applied as a lateral load on the building. Now, once the value of Ak is available, then I can find the value of P2. So again, W1, W2, W3 are there, 521, 522, 532 are there with me. Substituting these values, I will get the value of P2 is equal to 0.487, as you can see here in the figure. Once that is available, again I can calculate the lateral loads at each of the floors for corresponding to the value of mode shape 2, that is Q12, Q22 and Q32, where 1, 2 and 3 are the floors and 2 is the mode shape. So substituting these values, I get the value of Q12 is equal to 21.28, Q22 is equal to 13.43 and Q32 is equal to 19.31 kilonewton. Right? So we have the values for first mode, we have the values for second mode. Now we have to calculate the value for the third mode. Same procedure again, we take the value of Ak, where everything will remain same, but the value of T will change. That is T3 is equal to 2 pi by omega 3. Substituting this value, again I will get the value of time period as 0.198 second. Substituting into Ak, I will get the value as 6%. That is 6% of the total seismic weight will be transferred as lateral load to the building. Right? So that is there going to be there. Then value of P3, again W1, W2, W3 are there, 513, 523, 533 are there with me. Substituting these values, I get the value of P3 is equal to 0.261 as shown in the calculation over here. Once that is available to us, I can find out the lateral loads that are going to be at first floor, second floor and third floor corresponding to the value of mode shape, that is mode shape 3. Right? So substituting these values, I get the value of Q13 is equal to 12.11, Q22 is equal to 12.69 and Q33 is equal to 5.35 kilonewton. Right? So now with this we complete the calculation of design lateral forces at each of the steps that are going to be there. Now one thing that is we need to keep in mind for the calculation, or we need to observe after this calculation, is that depending on the value of time period, the value of lateral forces have changed. How they have changed? Let us look quickly. That is, if I talk about time period T1, then the value was in the range of 0.75 seconds. Then for T2 and T3, the value is in the range of 0.25 to 0.3 seconds, right? So what has happened is that whenever the time period is going to be more, then the corresponding values of lateral loads, if I see, then the corresponding values of lateral loads are in the range of 23, 55 and 53.37, right? And where the time period that we have taken is how much? That is, you have seen that the value of time period is 0.753, right? So when the time period is 0.753, then the percentage of earthquake that is there, the percentage of earthquake is 0.433, that is 4.33 of the total seismic weight is going to be applied as the lateral load on the building. However, if you look at the second and the third case, then in the second case the value of time period is reduced to 0.29, right, and when the value is reduced to 0.269, then in that case the value of AK is 0.06. And similarly for the third case also, where the value of time period is 0.198 also, then also the value of AK is coming as 0.06. So if I want to establish the relation between the time period and the total amount of horizontal force that I can expect on the building, then I can say that whenever the time period is going to be more, then the amount of earthquake force transferred to the building is going to be less. And whenever the time period is going to be less, then in that case the amount of horizontal force that is likely to be transferred to the building is going to be more. Why it is going to be more? Because what is going to happen is that with the more time period, the building is going to become more flexible in nature. And when it is going to be more flexible in nature, then as a result of that, the redistribution of forces will be able to take better, and as a result of that, less amount of force will be transferred. However, if the building is rigid in nature, then in that case what is going to happen is that large amount of because it is going to become stiff also. And when it is going to become stiff also, then in that case what is going to happen is that it is going to attract large amount of lateral forces also. Right? So that relation between time period and the lateral force has to be understood very clearly. And lastly, once all this calculation has been done, then after that we can draw these two diagrams, where on the left hand side the diagram of design lateral forces are shown, and correspondingly the diagram of story shear for each floor is shown. So as we have seen that once the values of lateral forces are available, then the diagram of story shear can be drawn easily. What is to be done is that cumulative sum has to be done, and at the base the highest value of story shear will be available to us. So same thing can be seen in the figure over here, where the values are independently shown for all the three modes, that is mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. In this figure you can see that the values of story shear and lateral forces corresponding to mode 2 are shown, and similarly in the other figure the values of lateral forces and story shear corresponding to mode 3 are shown. Right? So this is the completion of third step, that is the calculation of lateral forces for each of the stories corresponding to each of the mode shapes. Now after this what has to be done is that you need to calculate the values for combined mode shapes, that is story shear also for combined mode shapes and lateral forces also for combined mode shapes, and that can be done by SRSS method or CQC method, which we will be seeing in the next class. I hope the concept of dynamic analysis is getting clearer to you as we are taking up the sums one by one, and also the interpretations that need to be made from these values that we are calculating need also to be understood very clearly. Stay tuned for the further lecture series.